And after this, after charting, if possible, let's go over that thing again, that trading setup again, one more time.
Okay.
Hutch,
Yeah, yeah. I got you, man. I'm good.
whole thing. And some other folks as well wanted to see that thing.
I bet.
So, yeah, active trader, whole thing. So let's jump into the futures. And just as you would have expected, this thing to come down. This hit a peak about the close and came right back down. So oversold, coming right back down. Expectation is again for it to push down to this number 45.69. Then most likely it will hit this 45.66, and this should be a good bounce. And this, whatever it is bouncing here, this I'm expecting it to be an ephemeral bounce. But then right now, none of us trade futures. I'm not trading futures as of now, so this doesn't really matter to us. Tomorrow morning when we chart, probably that's where we look to we'll look to get into a little bit further detail with that. 45.69, this is where I'm looking for it to bounce. And after the bounce, most likely a push down here. Most likely a push down here. 45.61, and the mean is sitting here. So usually the way it works is we know that gets oversold, comes right back down, hits the mean and bounces. So this is the usual pattern. For now, it'll bounce here. Should be an ephemeral bounce. Back down here should be some sort of ephemeral bounce. Then it will come back down here. If not, by the time it comes down here, if the mean has already pushed into this number, then that will be the bounce. That will be a good bounce. And it's creating one, two purple bar, maybe another purple bar, then a break or a breather, then push down. That's what I'm expecting from the futures. And we are still looking like in an uptrend. This was supposed to be continuing into one more purple bar here, but unfortunately, this is not the case. It bounced off of the 8 to a T. So yesterday night we were looking for a bounce around here. We got that bounce. Ideally, if technicals were to be believed, this will be tested again tomorrow. If technicals were to be believed, because the average is still kind of pointing down here. So let's see if that is how it works out. So again, we'll look for a push down into 45.59 tomorrow, and then a bounce around 45.45. If that breaks, we can look for a push into 45.35. So this is how it will proceed to the downside tomorrow. Tomorrow, 45, yeah, about here, 45.33, and then let's see how it behaves. This ideally, this is how it should have come down. One doji, second green can, second red candle, third red candle, and probably here it should have bounced. But the market that we are witnessing right now doesn't to the market it doesn't really mean anything. The war, the genocide, whatnot. This is where it is happening, right? A major nuclear power is waging war against other country. Then there's whole what that biochemical labs involved there, whatnot. But the market is shrugging it off and just keeps pushing higher. Interest rates hikes are coming, but still the market is taking it in stride. So if that's the case, then we'll keep looking for the upside, just like we did today. And here is where it is heading into. So this is the cycle that was. So this is where if it enters, if the price enters this zone, it is pretty much a given that it will hit the mean. Once it hits the mean, it is pretty much a given that it will go hit the top inner Bollinger Band. So that is the thesis that worked out to a T here. Then if it pushes higher tomorrow, and this is where it is headed, 46.62. Not out of the question. 90 points move on the futures is not out of the question. Will it happen? That's a separate issue again. If Apple pushes into all-time highs, we'll see that tomorrow. Even into, I think Apple will push into 180s tomorrow, but beyond 180s, that is uh, that is debatable yet. So for 180, I'm looking for Apple to push into 180. So after that, let's see if Apple pushes into 183, breaks all-time highs, then we will easily pass this number handily. 4662 will be handily beaten tomorrow if that happens. But yeah, let's look for that. And we'll do this again tomorrow, anyways. But this is where if Apple pushes into all-time highs, 4665 is where it will head into. So a good 80 points move on the SPX is not out of the question. So let's plot the downside. Uh, to the downside, the mean is where if it pushes down to the mean 4520s, so that's another 60 points to the downside. I don't see it going below that, and in fact I don't see it coming down to even the mean. So the way that things are right now, I don't even see it coming back down to the mean on the day, on the weekly. Weekly mean is sitting at about 4620s. So but I don't see I don't see it right now as of where things are standing. I don't see it coming down to that number yet. So let's plot SPX here. This will again be tested. So right about now we are sitting here, and I think futures overnight will test this number 4588. But then tomorrow I think this 4588 will be tested again, and if it bounces from here, we'll look for an upside. If it fails the bounce here, then we'll look for a test of today's lows again. And the way that it seems like it will bounce again here, but just in case if it doesn't bounce, we are looking for a push down to day before yesterday's lows about here. If you extend this line, 4507, 4508, this is where it will go down to. And I think Friday it bounced to a T at this number. So look for that push down below 8, then this is where it is headed. I don't think it's going to go below that. If it does, maybe during the course of the week, it will test 4486. So that's a good 100-point move to the downside. I don't see that happening in one day. Maybe throughout the week, if it kind of keep coming down, then this is where it will bounce. 4487. Well, if you have the account to play it, you can sell puts here and buy the puts here. You can sell puts for this number here, 4471, and then buy puts for here. If you want to finance your puts, this is how you can do it. To the upside, the markets are still intact to the upside. Generally, this is how it should have worked. Doji, red candle, and then red candle down here. And then if that breaks, we could have looked for a mean reversion, but right now it's not happening. Everything was telling us that the mean reversion was supposed to happen, but markets being markets, it created another doji, in fact, a green doji. So make whatever you will of it. So I am keeping the logic aside for now, and I'm just going with what the technicals are showing me here on a day-to-day basis. So I am trading on an hourly chart. That's what I'm doing in conjunction with VIX. And speaking of VIX, this was the trade today. Let's open up SPX. And I am hoping that you guys trade this way. So the VIX here, this was the highs for the VIX. And where is that? about 1410. Okay, right about here. Right, so 1410. This is where was the highs. I mean, the push up came for the VIX, and after this, it was clear sale for the markets to the upside. And this is the number that I was watching for it to clear this line, the 100 line. Once it cleared here, then the coast was clear for it to push up. And just like that, VIX was coming down, and this is what VIX was supposed to be doing. It's PX and VIX there. So this is the number that I was watching for VIX to come down to. Right about here. So VIX was coming down, and this was intact. The downtrend was for VIX was intact throughout the day. Right. So just the moment it broke below its 50, it was right there to push down, and as expected, it came down to this number. And how'd you talking to me? Maybe not. So the moment, so this is where I left. You know, this is where I was looking for a trade, but I couldn't get a trade. So this is where the SPX was stalling for a minute, and then I left. Then this is what happened. So we were looking for VIX to break this number and push below, and if the VIX broke this number and pushed below, then the markets were supposed to rally. And if the VIX turned back from here, which was not the case, but still, the chances that the VIX would have turned back from here would have put the markets in a reversal from there. Not a reversal, but a breather, perhaps to this point here. But that did not happen. VIX broke down and the markets pushed up. Markets should have ideally pushed into this number, 45.97, but yeah, that was still a. If VIX would have pushed down a few more points, few more bips, this would have happened to 4600. But let's see, tomorrow is another day. So expectation from VIX for tomorrow. This is a 4-hour chart. This is where it is. So VIX made one doji, two doji, three dojis. Today's doji was uh, a little significant than this doji. So everything is still pointing to the downside. Nothing says VIX has any mood to go up. And for VIX to do anything, now it has to cross the 25, then it has to go back to its 8. So, and 200 is sitting right here. 2090 is now a distant dream for VIX right now. It doesn't seem like it's going to do that. And I think VIX is pushing into this number, 1580. Most likely that's the case. And let's see if we can see VIX. All right, so VIX 14, whatever this number, 100 day on the monthly, this is clearly breaking down. There's nothing telling VIX has any interest in pushing up. But if VIX does push up, this is the number that I want to be watching, 2020. So to the downside, 1873, which it broke. But if pushes up, 1866, if it that breaks, then this is where the big test will come, 2025. I don't see it coming up to that either now. But if it does come here, then I'll start to take notice of VIX. This is where it should stop, 2199 to 22 range. Uh, Still nothing more. I mean, nothing big. This is still nothing big compared to what we went through here. And I don't think VIX has ammo to even come up to 22 now. And this is still pointing down. This is still pointing down. So on the weekly, I think VIX will push down farther into this number, which is where basically it's supposed to be. Looking for that number. Let's see how that plays out. I will be alerting if VIX kind of or the Williams R kind of starts to push up here. I will alert that in the morning session if that happens. Okay, now next thing is the watch list, Microsoft. This is an easy target right now. It is a very easy target. So this is where it will push into 316.99 or let's say 317. It's a very easy target. That is to the upside. The base case to the upside is 317. Base case to the downside is 310 or 311 for that matter. This is a very easy target for tomorrow. Will I play it? I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet if I want to play this. And Microsoft on a daily. And the reason I'm saying it's an easy target is because of this line here. If Microsoft clears this line, which it did and closed above here, then we are clear to hit this line here. Maybe a bit of a breather, but if it clears this line, then we are looking for 328. Will it happen tomorrow? I don't think so. Maybe good chances of a breather around here, 316.99 or 317. Good chances of a breather. And if it comes back down here, it will bounce again around this area. So let's say if it comes back down to this number, 313.98, it will bounce here. If the bounce fails, then we'll look for 313. I'm not looking to play the downside just yet. I want to see it hit this number first, 317. Apple. This is very interesting right now. And this is where I think it will push into 181, 180, 181. This is where it is headed into. And will I play Apple tomorrow? Most likely, I will play Apple tomorrow. Instead of Microsoft, I will most likely play Apple tomorrow. 178, uh, 177.80. It closed above this number. So I am looking for Apple to push into all-time highs if it hits this number here, 181. So last time it hit that, it failed. But this time there's nothing telling me that it is last time because it was about here. So it was sloping down. So this time it is pushing up. So this scenario is different where it was overbought here. So it came right back down. This time the scenario is different. It is pushing up. But let's see how that plays out. The only thing that is bothering me here is the money flow index. But right now you don't really need a whole lot of the shares to actually push it up. So again, one another thing that you want to see is uh, this one here, SPY 59. So this was another low volume day. Right here is the volume. If I go into this bar, it is showing me the volume 59 million. And Saturday was okay, I think. And then here, so this is lower than this. So if you want to see that volume, you have to go all the way till here in December. Otherwise, it's been consistently better volume. And Feb about here is another 64 million. But today was pretty much, uh, and so if you want to do this, yeah, so we have the volume based MA. So moving average on volume is sort of coming down here. If you put any faith into this, so if you can see that it is coming down. Let's see. It was a low volume day. So stock pushed up on a low volume day, making a doji. if that means anything. But then let's see if it can push down. And for which one? A CRM. CRM pushed today. For tomorrow, CRM, I'm looking for a push into this number. Not tomorrow, but I'm looking for a push into this number for CRM 224. This is where it is headed. Will we be able to catch this? Well, most likely. So I will get involved in CRM. To the upside here, 220 is my base case. To the downside here, about 214 is my base case. If it comes down here, I'll catch this. Uh, I shouldn't say 214 is my base case to the downside, but to the upside, definitely 220 is my base case. If it clears there, and then we are good to go into this number, 227. But this is where it is headed. 224 is where it is headed. So I want to be playing CRM tomorrow. So let's look at CRM on lower time frames. This is still looking good. The upward momentum is still intact. Everything looks good. So this needs to be cleared. This needs to be cleared. The 1 hour. 1 hour needs to be resolved, and most likely it will get resolved here. 218.12. That doesn't work out, then most likely it will come back down here. 2117. This will be the best bounce spot if it can come down here. If you can catch it around 215, it will be a best bounce spot. Let's see how that plays out. This is where the mean is lying. So this is how it works out. But it's not that oversold. So if the market pushes up, this is where it will bounce 218, and I will catch this trade tomorrow. And what else do I want to see? Mm, for now, there's Amgen and there is the other one, uh, Berkshire. This BRK. This is the other one that I'll be looking to play. So after this bounce, simply because it is oversold here, this will bounce and probably it will head into this 349 number. We will look to play this bounce at least to 348 if it clears this 346 here. And then this is where it has to come down to 344, and after that, a 343.38. This is where a good bounce spot would be. For now, it is bouncing off of its 50 EMA, but then if it can come down to its SMA, that would be a nice one. And here it left its 8. So reclaiming of 8 is a good thing, but then here it is 348. So we can look for a push into this number. But then after that, I'm looking for BRKB to push down here. So either you can play this to the downside till here. This is again the scenario what we were looking to play. Which one is that? AMD a couple of days back to the downside, and this is the exact scenario that will play out around right about here. This is where the mean is sitting, so it will come back 340, 330, something like that. It will hit the mean and push up, and then again it will push back down. And I have no idea why the financials are behaving the way they are behaving. And this is not exactly a financial, but still, this is a conglomerate. So make whatever you will of it. And this is where the first bounce will come 343.88. Most likely, that will be an ephemeral bounce. And then this is where it'll 343, this 343.30 area, it will bounce nicely probably again into 348. Then after that, it will have to come back down. It will test the mean and then probably push down here, 338. That's what my expectation from a BRKB is. And if that fails, then this is where it is headed into 332. 324. Look for a bounce. If anybody wants to play GS, look for a bounce of this one. Where is 8? Where is 21? This is 8. This is 21. So 8 above 21 never happened. So this is still intact. 8 below 21 is still intact. Look for a push down into 323 and a bounce here. Somebody was looking for Twitter. Twitter, it's a news based. Wow, preferred setup, but yeah. Uh, so Twitter was a news-based trade, and most likely this will head into this number, 5272, and Tesla will keep pushing alongside with this into 1170. I suppose I have 1190 calls for Tesla right now. No, 1170 calls, and I think Tesla will continue to push into that number alongside Twitter. I don't know the logic behind it, but just going by what I can, uh, what I perceive to be the trade, the pair trade. There's no logic. I mean, there is logic that Musk is the common thread, but the logic doesn't make much of a sense, right? So any logic that doesn't make sense is not really logic. It's just, for lack of better words, stupidity. But if stupidity does help us make money, then I'm all for it. This is where it will head into 5285. That might not happen right away, but yeah, that's where it should head into. Right here, 52 something. This is where it is heading into. Should I hold my call until earnings? When are the earnings? No, I don't think you should be holding your call into earnings. Earnings are way away, way away. Look for an exit around here. You can put on the same trade later again. Look for an exit around here, 52.16. Yep. Look for an exit around there. So the moment it is starting to hit this number, put a trailing stop loss. Look for an exit. Most if it clears this number, then this is where it will stall. 52.85. So keep a trailing stop loss on that and look for an exit. Good thing it is above. Oh, good. It did not even go there. It stopped below that. So let's see if it can clear this number 5022, which is 100, which looks like it will clear. Then this will push into this number right about here, 52. I'll look for an exit around 52. And we'll see what happens here if it pushes into 5271. Most likely, this is where it will take a break. Just being greedy. Yep, yep, everybody is. Uh, well, Mr. Musk is running a poll right now. Do you want an edit button? Of course, yes. Of course, yes, you need a button. Anything else that anybody is interested? Morgan Stanley, shop. Okay. Banking, for some reason, looks like a terrible trade right now. Everything is pushing down. And yesterday, we were looking for a push up in Morgan Stanley, and we got that push up. Yesterday, charting, if you were in charting, you would have figured this one out. Pretty straightforward trade. Oversold, we're looking for a push up. And let's see if it has any bearing on Uh, US and Y. Nope. Oh, it came back down after hours. Yeah. So this is what we were looking for. I think in the morning for it to push up. Hit that number and start to push up. And let's see what XLF did. XLF did the same thing. Hit and push up. Then let's see what did MS do. Hit and a push up. So this is what you want to do with while trading, these kind of sectors, banking or oil or so. Let's see BSC there. So everything followed the same path. You're seeing this downside because it is after hours. Uh, so this is what we're looking for. Push up, push up, push up. And I think this is where the market stopped. Clear push up, clear push up, clear push up. This is how you want to trade this stuff. And I think Morgan Stanley, or for that matter, this cohort is not done uh, going down yet. Maybe a little further down, but I think it will push down a little further. So tomorrow, 87.58, a test of 87.58. Then it is tradable up to this number here, 88.43. And if that clears, it will push into 89. Uh, and this is the chart that actually matters. Here, this is Morgan Stanley. Look for a push into this number again. If that 87.42 breaks, then we'll look for a push into 88.15. If not, if XLF, which looks like it should come back down according to the 10-year, if XLF comes down, then this will also come back down. But if XLF pushes up into its mean, generally this is how it works. From the bottom, it goes right into the mean. 38.16 is where the mean is sitting. Not too big of a difference, but yeah, that is still good enough. And that breaks, and 21, and the momentum still intact to the upside. So yeah, we could look for an upside on the banking sector tomorrow, at least in the first hour. Sharp, sharp. I was looking to bloody short this thing. Yeah. So this is where to a T it went up and stopped 8, and it came back down. It has to come back down to this number 713 and look for a bounce around 713 if it hadn't happened already today. So it is getting rejected here. It has to come back down around 713, 714, and then bounce. And after that bounce, if it clears 730, then we'll look for an upside. But for now, this is the range that you want to play. To the upside, 730, 731. To the downside, 713, 714 range. And yeah, so this is very interesting. And I think I was commenting about this in the during the day as well. So this is very interesting here. It hit this 50 line, came right back down, hit that 50 line, trying to come back down. And tomorrow, if it can push into this 50 line again, this time it will pierce it. Let's see how that plays out. So here, this will be a critical point, and this will be a deciding factor whether it's going to go up or down. If I were to look at the technicals, especially the SMI, it is saying that it will get rejected. It will get rejected around this number again. But let's see. Let's see. I've seen weirder things happen. So if it can clear this, and then we can look for a push into 778. Might not happen tomorrow itself, but if it pushes up from here, that's a good sign. And then there is a lot of gap with the mean itself. So we could look for a push up. And the mean on the daily, it has cleared the mean on the daily. Wow. Why is this super high then? Let's see. So if it clears here, then we could look for a push into this number, 770s. So this will be the critical movement for the stock tomorrow. And to the downside, I think this is where it should test 721. If it breaks 721, then we'll look for a push into this super trend here. If you extend that, 713, 714. This is where I'm expecting a bounce. If it breaks there, let's reassess the situation if it breaks below there. So to the upside, the black line, to the downside, this more purple line, 720 and 731. So this is the range that we want to be playing sharp tomorrow. And if you are someone who is a little, what, what happened? Right here. So this is where it tried to stop last time and gave us this downside. I was looking to short it, but till the time I was in the trade, it was not happening. The moment I got out, this fucking thing came right back down as expected, and it pushed up from there. So let's look for a push down again to this number seven. Right now, it is sitting about a little bit, well, right exactly at the five. So let's see if it can push down. Let's look for 724.60, 724.50 to the downside. If that breaks below that, then we can look for a push down into 714. This is the most likely scenario tomorrow. And toward the upside, again, 731. This is where it needs to break for a sharp. What's the next one? AMD. AMD, let's see. So AMD, if you're trading AMD, this is how you want to be trading AMD. Let's put up four of them. And socks. And socks is doing this. It's making a doji. That is nice. And then look for SMH. Then, of course, you'll have your AMD. And then most likely you can put up NVIDIA here. Fucking thing. Look at that. It came down, but okay. And then you want to trade something like an LRCX. So either one of those. So LRCX went again today. This is oversold, and if LRCX comes down at 519, it will bounce again. I don't know if it's going to come down there according to the technicals, but if it does come down there, it will bounce. For now, you can look for a push above here tomorrow, a push above this number, 539, then LRCX will run into 543, most likely into 545, 546 number. Look for a push above here, 537, and to the downside, 518. And AMD, same thing. I think it stopped around. I was looking for AMD today, but couldn't make up a trade. About 112.53. This is to the upside, the 5, and to the downside, yeah, well, this is showing to the downside. But this is how you want to trade AMD stocks, SMH, and then you'll have your AMD, and then you'll have your maybe NVIDIA. Uh, uh, this thing is coming down. Today, I think it pushed up because it ran into this thing. And tomorrow, This thing is still pointing down unless otherwise something changes here. This thing is looking to this thing will have to come back down and check with 3360, and if breaks here around 3392, which it is threatening to do, it will break here, then it will test this number again. So look for that 3351. That means SMH will have to come down to 263. That means AMD will need to get fogged. That means this NVIDIA will have to at least come down to 260, or at least 262 number. It has to bounce. The other day it bounced at this line again. Today it will look for a push down into this number again. And NVIDIA, it is a high beta stock. Actually, the mean is sitting here, 253. So there's much to the downside for NVIDIA versus other ones. But for that to happen, stocks need to continue to slide down. So this is how you want to trade that. CX. So this is what I was looking for on NVIDIA as well. So there you have it. We'll come back down here. So if tomorrow, uh, obviously this is pushing up from the mean. So you could look for it to push up. Okay, this is what happened. Came right back down and pushed up into this number 535. So if it continues to push up, this is where it will head into 539. But if it gets rejected here, it will come right back to the mean. If mean breaks, which it is threatening to because of this number here, then we can look for a push into 516 again. So look for that. This is how you want to play semiconductors. And next is ABNB. ABNB, I am bullish on ABNB. I think yesterday night I charted ABNB. Did I play that today? No, I did not play today. Yeah, I was bullish on ABNB because the whole COVID situation is getting normalized. Travel restrictions have been lifted, and the domestic everything is looking good. And here is what was supposed to happen, and as expected, it happened. And now the question is whether it's going to take a breather here. Everything is telling that there will be a breather, Walmart sort of a breather. There are all the technicals are there for it to take a breather, but will it take a breather? That's a separate story. Because the ammo, there's enough juice for it to push into this number 183. I think there should be a breather. There should be a breather at least temporarily. Come back down, test this number around 170, whatnot, 173 or whatnot. Then push here, then clear that, and push into 183 or something like that. BNB, yeah, yeah, this thing is still intact. But ABNB, if you're someone who's long term, I think ABNB will work out pretty decent. And this is kind of getting overbought here. So it needs to come back down. So let's look for ABNB 176 or a bounce around 176.28. And should this take effect, it will have to come back down to this number here, 175.20, because that is
Carl, if I just pulled up Airbnb and it actually pushed to 177.64 after hours.
nice. That is nice. Yep. So if it did push after hours, I think tomorrow morning it has to come back down, test with this number, test this number, 176.30 or whatnot, the 8. If 8 breaks, then it will come back down to its mean on the hourly. Why? Because that's just how it works. Let's see if we can get that push, and after that, it bounces, it will go back right into this number. So let's look for that. Silver. Silver is, see what silver does. Silver is on the weekly, it is coming down, and I do believe that was this run up was pretty much a temporary run up. And silver has a long term uh, As a long term hold, you can, but otherwise, I don't see a real, I don't see a real need for you to hold on to this thing temporarily. But if you are someone who believes that a silver and copper, all these metals, are gonna be higher price because of the whole EV revolution or whatnot, silver and copper go into a lot of stuff in the modern world. So yeah, there will be a demand for silver as well as copper. There's only so much of that. So yeah, if on a long-term basis you want to hold it, yes, you can. But for now, I don't think it's a good idea to hold on to this stuff in a short. But technically speaking, if it breaks here, uh, of course, after an ephemeral bounce, if it breaks here, then this is where it is headed to. Going by the technicals, I think it should break that and go back and test this number 2219. Or will it test this number? I don't know. I don't know. Uh, there is a very good chance 8 below 21 happened just here. So it will test this number, bounce in, probably come back and test this number again, and then it should push down here. That's my expectation from silver right now. Long term, it's a good hold. How will the 25-day challenge work? So it's going to be 25 days. You'll hit a million. What the heck? So I have that account right now with TD, and I think that account has about $350 in it. I'm trying to transfer money into that account. Hopefully, that will be available tomorrow to trade. $500. So every day, I'm just trying to add $25 to that account through trading. So if I want to make a trade, you know, I might buy one contract of $100, or I might buy five contracts of $100 worth $100, or I might just buy one contract of $500. So yeah, so the idea is to get $25 every day added into that account. So would you wait to enter the sharp trade short until the price target? You would enter off another technical. Uh, of course, VIX. I would obviously trade according to VIX. If VIX continues to push down, then I will look for that the price to hit that number and look for long above 731, or at least till 731. I'll look for it to be long. Walmart. You should do it trading only one ticker. Huh. Yeah, that's not a bad idea too. We could do that. Tesla. Tesla. Okay. I can try that. Tesla. So I was actually looking to get that account to 2000 and then trade it. Spy cues. Yeah, yeah. We'll go through that. So let's get into Walmart. Walmart was a great trade today. This fucking thing was sitting there to be taken into this number, and after this number, it came right back down. So let's see Walmart and why was it trading. So this there was momentum. There is still momentum. There is still momentum building into that number. So on the daily, this was looking really nice. Everything was to the upside. Today, it is starting to slide back down, but that is still okay. And we will look for an entry again for Walmart. And as expected, came right back down after hitting that super trend on the daily or the weekly, maybe. I don't know. It came right back down, hit the mean. And this is a very, very, very consistent pattern, right? Goes out, comes right back to the mean, hits the mean, starts to push up. So this is very consistent, and most likely it will start to bounce here again, but then needs to come back down and test maybe, I don't know, 148. Or I would not enter this trade right away. I will wait for at least a test of 150.50. So this is still overbought. So this still needs to get resolved. And if it breaks at 5 on the 4 hour, then we'll look for a test of this number. And most likely this is where I'll take my first trade, look for an upside. If that fails, I'll let it go. I'll not enter this trade until it comes satisfactorily down. After that, I'll enter this trade again and it will come right back into this number. This is the trade for Walmart. Uh, trade one. Yeah. Well, for tomorrow shop. Awesome. Not Tesla. Not Tesla? Okay. Please don't. Spy Q, trade only Piton. Oh, Lord. Piton, yes. That is still a company, right? After a long time, I think Nicole broke 2,000 views with her video. George does it again. George does it. Oh, that's Naka. Okay, now I see. Ra, what are you doing again? I don't know. What are you doing again? But uh, Haj, do you really want me to go over spy cues or maybe not? Let's leave that for the morning. Anyways, we go through that during the early session. LSE, looking at LSE. Sundial, you trade uh, at your own risk. LAC, small account challenge. Lithium. Okay. So for 500 bucks, how many shares can I buy for this thing? Not even 100. All right, maybe 10 shares. And there is this another problem of uh, settling, funds settling, and all that, right? If you are trading on a small account, the funds need to settle, and it takes a little longer for equity. If you're trading equity, the funds to settle it takes a little longer versus options. LSC looking decent. Okay, 37.91. So a test of 38.36 is coming, and that breaks, and we are looking for a push down into 36.43. Okay, those numbers I can work with. 36.76. Cool. How many shares? 5 million. How are the spreads looking like? Haj, option settle next day.
5 cents.
3 days.
Five to 15 cents.
Sorry, it's 5 to 15 cents.
Yeah,
Okay,
good volume.
cool thing. Nice. All right, let's look for this thing tomorrow. And if I want to trade, so When you say $500 account and all that, that doesn't mean that you could trade only these stock. You can actually go into these stock as well. Right? If you could have caught this move to the upside, you could have traded it. These contracts trade for like I think 120 or something like that, 120. I don't really know the number, but yeah, these are okay too. And I think if it breaks, I think it is headed for the mean here. If it breaks the mean, it will push into 22, 22.49. So yeah, it's still looking good. Let's see if I can get this thing tomorrow. Nike is one other one that I think I charted the other day, but did not take a trade. Okay, cool. And this still looks good. Boring. I haven't traded this thing in a long while. 7. So I think the small account thing it has to at least be $5,000 at least, so that you can trade equity as well. I don't know, 500 is way too low, right? Is it not?
No, a lot of them start with $1,000, and it's a thousand,
$500,
a thousand to 10,000 challenge.
1,000 to 10,000.
Yeah.
Uh, yes and no. Uh, I like the 509, but it's 509. I'm liking it was too small in any. Okay. Oh boy. All right, let's stick with 500. Let's see if we can grow that thing small little by little. It definitely does take a plus move, that for sure. Oh, why am I saying 5,000 is because you can trade equity as well if you have 5,000. 500 is way too limited. Let's say if a trade is going against you, how do you deal with that, right? Even if it's a good idea and you don't have resources to capitalize on that good idea, it's still, it still wouldn't work out. That's a reason. A plus moves, that's for sure. Yeah. So that means 500 goods prevents you from overtrading. That is true. Everyone I have seen publicly do a small account challenge has failed. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That is very true. I have seen numerous people fail, but let's see. And it is a small amount, so let's see. White House won't rule out pardon for Hunter James Biden. Good for him. Uh, he's a market maker. Nor did it. Yeah, she did it. She did it. Now the question is, it's not that you can't do it. You can do it. But then the other thing is, making money is different, and keeping that money is a whole different thing. Making money is different. Keeping that money is a whole different thing. Yeah, yeah. If it goes against you, you're done for the day. That is true. If PDT didn't exist, then it would be significantly easier. I think so. But for cash accounts, PDT doesn't matter, right? It's a cash account. Yeah, yeah. So cash account doesn't matter. A very good trade on margin without the 3-day limit. Yeah, of course. Margin is, yeah. So I need to most likely turn that account into a cash account tomorrow. I think tomorrow the fund should arrive before open, or whenever the funds would arrive. I think I'll start with that. U.S. shipment of switchable drones to Ukraine. Switchblade drones to Ukraine includes the latest model armed with tank-destroying warheads. Good for us. Okay, nonsense. George is not here. Cash account for 1 day. And that's the reason people like to trade on Fridays because Fridays the options get cheaper and you can maneuver around that. And for example, why am I doing this is because I get a lot of confidence from seeing Marissa trade. Marissa trades really well, really, really, really well. Or rather, she learned to trade really well, and she doesn't let go. She takes a trade, makes a little bit on that, and then she's done. She's done. She doesn't give that money back. Full port. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. I'm not doing it. Yeah, before the premiums get pumped from his class. Timo, let the cat out of the bag, Timo. Mhm. He let the cat out. Who let the cat out? Sleeping on the floor tonight. Let's see. Let's see. I am in no rush to do anything, so I'm okay. Um, I just do one trade a day and be done with it.
Are we done charting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm gonna cut the recording.
All right. Sorry.